Hey everyone, Mark here from Digital Groove Online and welcome back to this week's video. I've been playing about with Loopcloud recently. I have been an avid Splice user for a long time now, and I just thought I would maybe try out something different and see what sort of samples they had available in their library as well. But one thing that struck me using their application was the fact that you could use multi-track within inside the application itself, and I thought I would do a little video today, and particularly around guys who are pretty new to music production. I want to sort of show how easy it is to sort of put some audio samples together to generate an idea for a new track, or even complete a track just using samples within the likes of Splice and Loopcloud. But as I said, today we're going to use Loopcloud for the purpose of this video, and we're just going to go through and see what we can do with the audio that we have in there, work within a key inside the application, take those audio samples into Ableton Live, and try chopping them up and manipulating them and see what sort of idea we can come up with. So let's get started. For ease of use, I've already went into one of the sample packs and picked out a nice sample to just get us started, really. So I'm going to play this now for us. Let's see if we just turn down Loopcloud a little bit, and we'll just play it here and see. So quite like that as a starting point. So whenever you're inside Loopcloud and you've picked the first sample, if we just hit the edit button here, you can see at the bottom that sample has been loaded into this slot here, and we can keep adding slots along the bottom. I think there's up to 6 or 7 that you can add in there and build up sort of a generic idea or groove to then bring into Ableton Live. So we're going to start with this sample here, and we will just maybe dig through different sample packs and sort of work through it and see what we can come up with. So the fact that we've actually taken in a sample that has some sort of melodic element, it's an A minor. We're going to set any key to anything else melodic within the track to A minor so that it all works together. But I like the sound, the tone and the rhythm of this sample here. So I'll try and find, I suppose, a kick drum for it now. So let's click the next empty track, and we can look through kick drums maybe within the same pack. Let's hit play. Just turn that down a little bit here. I quite like that kick drum there. So I'm going to add another one in here, and maybe not using the Afro House one. We'll go back to the library, just come out of that and go into the Explorer, and we'll have a look through some more sample packs here. We'll stay within the sort of houseier genre here, or melodic house, or even classic house sounds, I suppose, as well, and see what we can come up with. So we can click on packs here, and it should bring up a search option in a second, and we can filter by a lot of different things. So let's go with house. And that should filter sort of the houseier packs inside here. Let's see, house percussion loops. Let's try this. So I'm just going to go into this pack here, and we will go with loops. Yeah, and they're all sort of percussion loops there. Let's have a listen. Click on drum now, perhaps, and we'll maybe go with hats. going to stop that there. They don't seem to have hats in this folder here. Let's go into this melodic house pack here, and we'll type in hat. Yeah, we've got stuff in here. Yeah. What I like about it here, so like we can solo this down the bottom and just hit play. And it is a nice hat, so let's flick through some of those. Yeah, I like that one there. And the good thing about this, inside the edit window, we can look at the pattern option here, and we can look at all the different presets that they have in here already. And we will select hats and shakers. There is a general one, house one. Let's go with house hats 1 and see what that sounds like. And we'll maybe solo that with this as well. And we can flick between the presets too. I quite like that one. All I'm doing is holding down Control, similar to Ableton, and selecting the solo buttons. I'm not sure if it does it on its own. No. You hold down Control and it will allow you to select multiple within there as well. So I'm going to add in another multi-track, empty track. Let's have a listen to some of these. And if I just hit Control and solo the... We can just flick through some of these more loopier stuff. Quite like that one, but it's very similar. Yeah, I like that one there. Let's have a listen with the kick drum. And so far we're still within the actual Loopcloud application. We haven't sort of committed anything to Ableton yet. Now, as I said, we're in the key of E minor with this synth. So what I'm going to do is look for maybe a bass in the key of A minor. So let's see. I'll click on the bass here. And over here we've got a keyboard, so we can go C, D, E. Or sorry, A minor, wasn't it? A minor, sorry. C, D, E, F, G. Sorry. And there's A, and we can click the minor scale. And anything in the key of A minor within this sample pack has come up. So let's have a listen to just Control Z. I've just overwritten that. Putting in another one and clicking on the empty track. Control Z will undo it if you happen to go over. Just moving around the actual end point. See what it sounds like with the percussion. Quite like that, but as you can see, this doesn't really work with it anymore. Or does it? Let's have a listen. Yeah, when we start looping that up in the project, it might actually work. I'm going to keep that there for now. So maybe I'm going to come out of the organic house pack now, and we'll just select this plus sample over here again to put in another empty track, and we'll look at another house track there, or house pack, sorry, should I say, and see if we can come across something that's a little bit more percussive, a little bit more rolling. Let's have a listen. You can have a listen to the sample pack as well. Let's have a listen to some of this perhaps. Could perhaps have some nice percussion samples in this, so let's have a listen to that. The empty track selected. Let me see. Let's go with hats again, or loops maybe. Let's see. I'm going to play that with some of the other percussion sounds. We can also go into the search bar here and just type in hat, and it'll bring up all your percussions. Just do loops, bring up the hat loops. Like some of those. Oh, I like that. Cool. Okay. Let's see what other ones. I'm thinking something's just to fill that out a little bit more. Loops. House. Let's see what house loops come up. Bass. We'll go with percussion as well. So house loops, percussion. Something more full, I'm thinking here. These look a bit more full. Not so much bongo stuff I'm looking for. Let's see if Classic House can bring anything in there as well. that's a nice little sound there. I'm still looking for more of a fuller percussion loop. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, quite like that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sort of loops in there already. I'm going to put one more in and see if I can find some sort of atmospheric sound loop. Yeah, atmosphere. We're still going to go in the key of A minor. Just something to sit sort of underneath the bass. Quite like that. Quite like that granular keys. I'm thinking 2 steps ahead. I wanna soak that in reverb and EQ it really heavily so it's very soft in the background. So we have all these samples now that seem to work well together. They're all in the right key and it sounds pretty cool. So what can we do now? We can take this buy option here and it'll say, what do you want to do? Do you want to buy the one that you're selected, or would you like to buy them all? So I'm going to buy them all. And then you've got an option here. It'll take a wee second just to download all those in the background, but then you've got an option to drag a copy into Ableton Live. But before we do that, if we take the drop down arrow here, you've got different options as to how you want it to process those files. So you can actually get it to mix the file together and export it out as one. But in this occasion, and how I have it set up, is process separate files. So that will allow me then to, when I drag this in, it will drag all those files in individually, and the reason for that is we can process all the sounds separately, process them all differently, add different effects to them, EQs, compression, whatever it is you want to do, and it just gives you more control over how that mix would sound as opposed to just bringing it in as one loop. So I'm going to drag it in now. Hopefully it has downloaded, and we're going to bring it into here. So if I hold, as I'm dragging that in, if I hit control as I'm holding that, it will separate all those tracks. This is a good thing. When you drag more than one sample into Ableton, it actually brings it in one sample after the other into one audio channel. If whilst you're holding that still, if you hold down control, it will drop them all below each other inside the session. So now we have all these, I'll just turn that off. So now we have all these little audio files that we had within Loopcloud now in the session. So what I would like to do is just to probably drag that out as long as those 16 bars there. And then we'll look at each one individually and mix them in. And maybe chop up some of the audio files as well. What I might do with that one is just drop that above. Let me see, it's 122, so that's didn't look to be in time. That looks better. And then we start that on the 5th. And then drop that back down again. And then drop that back up there again. Now the reason I'm doing that is so that when the audio tail ends, we get a nice blend of the other one starting again. If I was just to drop that, say straight after, it would cut that audio out. And as it's the start of the sample, you know, whenever that sample is recorded, the effects haven't had a chance to record into the audio file. It does it over time. So if we just sort of bounce them off each other, that stops that. Okay, so let's loop that section. This is the kick drum here. Let's have a listen, I think. Yeah, and it is. Okay, so we're going to have to bring that one to the top. We'll call that kick. We'll have a listen to it here. Oh, we've got that at 160. That's not good. 120. We'll go 124. Solid kick, that. So the kick and the bass are probably two of the most important things in any track. So we'll bring the bass line up here now and just make sure that it sits well with that before we start adding other elements in. 122. 122. Just making sure, and we'll set that to Complex Pro. Just when you're bringing in audio samples, if it has the actual BPM in the audio files, you can see 122, 123. When you click into it, just make sure it's set to the same tempo in here, and that will just time stretch it perfectly within Ableton. So let's have a listen to that. Okay, that didn't work too well with the time stretching. Maybe that wasn't 122. So the other way to do that is let's take warp off. And we're going to zoom in. Sounds closer to 120 beats per minute there. So that is actually wrong. So now we've got that in time. If I hit warp now, would you like to keep the current timing of the clips? Yeah, we'll keep the current timing of the clips. It's 120 and we've got it on Pro. We can turn this off and we can speed that back up to 124 and that should be okay. Okay, cool. Sounds okay. Next thing, what could we look at next? Okay, I'm going to leave these little atmospheric sounds to the end. We have this here. I like that one, so let's bring that up in here and we'll mix that in next. So yeah, I quite like that. What else have we got here? too heavy. Okay, so that's those. So I think the next one will be this. Let's see. Oh, very loud. Turn that down. So that is 100. Let's change that to 100. Hopefully it's right. No. Let me see. So let's see what this looks like. It's 120. Keep it on Pro. And then we can pop that back up to 124. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to EQ that quite heavily. And we'll just play about with that. And we're going to put a shimmer on as well. As a return channel. And we'll feed that through. So let me see, that's going to C. I'll drop an EQ on the return channel also. And I might use a utility to just turn that up as well, so it's a little bit louder. Okay, so let's have a listen to those two together and we'll mix them in. So with the bass then, let's rename that bass as well. And just see what that sounds like together with that. Okay, starting to sound nice. Kick. Okay, so far that sounds good. Let's have a listen to the last part here. Just make sure these are in key too. So maybe we can chop this and just bring it back to the start as we're looping that. Yeah, cool. Maybe a little bit of side chain on that, so we'll use the LFO tool. Maybe with the bass, let's have a listen. Okay, all together then. So I've just taken this one here towards the end and looped it. Tighten this loop up by just putting it into forward sustain. And what that does is tightens the loop up, so it's very splicey. Just tightens that loop up for us. So there we go, we've got that in now, and that was all generated inside Loopcloud itself. So we can clear this track down now and start a new session. And now we can build again on top of what we've put in there, on what might be missing, some little fills and whatnot, possibly a vocal, I don't know. But sometimes what I like to do is we're in the key of A minor, so we can just set, take out atmosphere. Where are we? Yeah, so A minor loops, and we can just type in house, for example, and you might find something quite cool that you can use on top of that. So you will filter through lots of different stuff, but sometimes it's better to do that. You don't know what you're looking for, something might just jump out that sounds good. An arpeggiator might be a good idea, just things that you come across. I also think a sustained deeper bass on that would be nice as well. It's nice out there, yeah. Let's do it with the bass on its own. Loopcloud. Very nice. That's exactly what I'm talking about. nice. Okay, so that works nice. Let's play it along with everything just to see how that would sound. I'm going to take out the main sort of lead sound here and play it. Here. Stop that for now. Click on the next empty track and let's see what else we have here. I would like the idea of a vocal. I like the idea of a vocal of some description. Like a rhythmic vocal. Wake up!
There's a party on tonight. Don't need home. I don't need your help.
I quite like this one. It's too repetitive. I wouldn't use it as much as it happens there, but that might be nice too. We can add an effect on that and just filter it a wee bit, you know. Maybe a filter as well. here. I'm going to buy those two as well and just bring those in. So you can keep rinsing and repeating that process over and over again and generally build out a track idea completely with audio. If you're a beginner, it's a really good way, to listen for sounds that work together, sample selection and the process that goes with that as well. Bringing them in individually and EQing them, compressing them, panning, all sorts of things you're learning on the go as a new producer just to work with audio. And then you can get into, more granular detail with the audio itself by, snipping the audio, reversing something, like that. Or you can, duplicate that at the end, for example. Double kick, so you can get into the actual audio itself. Before you actually get into, the MIDI stuff, the advanced stuff, and, in the synthesis and sound design comes further down the line. But that was generated from all different sample packs within Loopcloud, which was quite easy to do. And then we can bring this last one into the project at the same time. Let's see that one. And did that bring both of them in? Let's see. Going to set that to complex. I'm actually going to feed a little bit of that into the shimmer as well. Actually given me that vocal. I must have that already. Is not the sound. What's this called? Fadeaway alternative. I like that. So, and then we'll do minus 10 perhaps. too. Okay, cool. So there you go. Generated an idea for, I suppose, a complete track solely with samples online using a Loopcloud. I've only started using it for the last week or so, and I find it really, really helpful for generating new ideas, particularly in all different genre types. And you can sort of take that now and start arranging that out, and then you know adding to it as you go along. But I suppose the original idea has now been implemented, throughout a half an hour, 45-minute session, whatever it was there. Just flicking through, and it's a fun enough process. Seeing what works and seeing what does it, and sounds that might inspire you. Even sounds that may not fit in this track. Just because you're sample digging and crate digging, I call it the old-fashioned style crate digging. Back in the vinyl days, when you went through looking through vinyl in shops, and you find this little golden nugget, and you find that within sample banks too that you maybe wouldn't, look for. When it comes to the genre that you're into, you might find something really nice in a pack that would surprise you. So enjoy. I hope you like that session. As I say, enjoy making these types of things, particularly for beginners. I don't like get into anything really too technical. If you're looking for technical information online, in my opinion, you're already good enough, to make records and put it out there. So it's more to help the new producers, the beginners out there. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next week.